will not be making noise to disturb people. So, when Peter Obi said that he will turn night vigils to night shifts, the average Nigerian Christian is a reactive person. They are like attack bulldogs. Peter Obi cannot become president again. Shut up your mouth. It's like those of you who tell me that I won't preach in your churches. Shut up your mouth. How much do you give to me? What do I need to preach in your church for? Do you know what companies pay me to speak? Do you know the businesses I do? Some of you just have entitlement mentality. Now that Peter Obi is not president, who is suffering more? Is it Peter Obi or you? Let bag of rice become 1 million. Peter Obi will buy it. You just wake up, you start talking anyhow. Number 2, do you love God more than Peter Obi? Do you love the church more than Peter Obi? Peter Obi has donated more to the church than your general overseer. Peter Obi's brother is a Catholic priest. That means they sacrificed a whole human being, man, from a wealthy family. You don't know that they own Next supermarket. You don't know that they own Next supermarket around Nigeria. You don't know how many things Peter Obi is the sole importer in Nigeria or even West Africa. Peter Obi has donated more to the church than you. And you that is doing all night, you stayed night vigil. I'm always wondering how Peter Obi goes without security in some places. I always wonder how he's able to shake his enemies, shake those who voted against him, shake his... I have been thinking, excuse me, I've been thinking, what confidence does this man have? He believes in God. Those of you going to night vigils, it's fear. Some of you also go to native doctors. Now, let's analyze night vigils. I have done night vigils as a young pastor. We go there, we sing most times and dance most times, and by the time the message is on, people are sleeping, ushers will be going around waking the people sleeping. And then at the end of the day, you will close, you will go and sleep, you won't go to work. I know a church behind me here. Ironically, it is a factory that closed down that the church is using. Another church is there in the same factory that closed down. Another church is there in the same factory that closed down. So we are doing churches in a factory we could revitalize that will employ people. So you go to the night vigil. Do you really maximize the time? The night vigil, is it not a mentality of an African that they are meeting they meet by 12 o'clock, so stay awake, it is by 12 o'clock that they are meeting? Is it not the mentality that demonic activities take place at night? That's why you are awake to pray against them. If the God you serve neither sleeps nor slumber, why do you have to stay awake with him at the same time? Why don't you sleep, let him take care of you? Why? If you love staying awake, why don't you go and be a security guard? Most night vigils are not effectively used. If you pray from 4 o'clock to say 7 o'clock during the day, 7 says 4 o'clock, or let's say 6 o'clock, to even 9 o'clock, 3 hours of prayer is enough. God is not a wicked God like your father or like Dr. Apokin. He is a merciful God. Before you even start praying, he has heard. So, some people say, why don't I talk to Muslims? Why would I talk to Muslims? I don't have control over another person's servant. Now let me ask you a simple question. The tomatoes you eat, who grows it? The cows you eat, who rears them? The sheep you eat, who rears them? The onions you use, who plants them? The carrot you use, who plants them? The watermelon you eat, who plants them? The beans you eat, who plants them? The rice you are carrying from the bagged rice, tomato puree, is produced in the north, and they are predominantly Muslims. What do you produce? 6% of Nigeria's GDP centers around animal husbandry. How many animals are in your prayer camps? Then let's come to oil. The same oil Nigeria has, Saudi Arabia has, Kuwait has, Qatar has, Oman has, all the Gulf states that produce oil. Can you compare Nigeria to those states? They have invested their money well. 30 years back, Dubai was just a small fishing port. See what they have become. Are you not going there for holidays? Are you not going there for treatment? You want me to talk to Muslims? There are more industries functional in the north than in several areas in the south where you people are praying and praying and praying. If a Muslim is going to the mosque, he can't, the one who is a cobbler carries his materials down. See the markets they have established around your country. And Muslims don't need big auditoriums to pray. With their mats, 5 of them will gather together from different states of the country, and they will pray and they will move on. They don't need to raise money to build big infrastructure all over the streets. 5 churches in one building, making noise. Now let's look at the statement. Dismantling night vigils to night shifts. Simple intelligence. I ask you a simple question. Do you think that your brethren in America, unless the witches in your village are very wicked, do you think your brothers in America will leave their jobs and go and do night vigil? No. They walk. Carry some of these pastors to America, they will die of hunger. Carry them to the UK, they will die of hunger. They walk. They walk at night. Excuse me. You might need to do 3 jobs. I was in Australia. My pastor friend that invited me, I taught him in the Sunday school. He's late now. I was wondering how he manages to impregnate his wife. Throughout the night, he will walk, come, go. I felt guilty going to visit him. As I traveled now, at one point, my children had to leave me to go and walk. If you go and do night vigil before you come back, your job is taken over. Let's look at how you can dismantle night vigils. The time is coming in Nigeria where your salary cannot feed you, cannot even pay your transport. My wife was complaining as I came back now. Bag of rice is this, bag of rice is that. I don't complain because I knew these things many years back when I started preaching. And I established businesses that are taking care of me in old age. Excuse me. I have real estate. If you listen very carefully, you will hear chicken, a cock crow now. It's the broilers in my poultry. I have a poultry in this compound. I have plantains in this compound. I have coconut in this compound. I don't buy oranges in this compound. Your prayer camps are empty. Empty of animals, empty of poultry, empty of crops. If the economic situation continues like this and the prices are going up, you will need to do extra work to earn enough to cater for your children's school fees. In fact, that time you will refuse to give your first fruit. I'm telling you. When you have bills piled up, you will refuse to give your first salary. Those of us talking to you, we love God. I spent my money around Africa. Excuse me. Forgive me the weather, the change in weather. I spent my money doing missionary work around Africa without collecting offerings. If there are factories working, this residence, I bought it from a factory that closed. Assuming this factory is working and there's production throughout the night, you won't go for night vigil. You will come to your work. You will come to your work. If there is production in Nigeria and people are having to do night shifts in the factories, you won't have time for night vigil. That's what Peter Obi is saying. Now listen very carefully. When you go to societies that function, this your bank applications, there are people working at night to keep them going. My son works from home. He's a computer engineer, has a PhD, he works in a Jewish firm. The only thing that will take the Jewish people away from work is to go and fight. Not to pray, they go and fight. Wear uniform and fight. To defend their country, the Israeli Defense Force. Now, all these bank applications that function at night, electricity that is regular, train stations that are regular, radar that are regular, things that make society function, people work there 24 hours. And those 24 hours, you can't go to night vigil. If you have produced glass before, I was the doctor in charge of the Aba glass industry, the clinic there, International Glass Industry Aba. You cannot afford to off the furnace. If you off the furnace, the glass will congeal. And to rebuild a furnace is a lot of money. You have to bring the bricks from France and Italy. It's a lot of money. So the furnace is always on 24 hours. The bitter glass industry here, they run shifts. My pastor works there. When he's on night shift, he doesn't do tarry night, or what do they call it? Night vigil. The clinic is on. Ambulance drivers are on. Security agencies are on. What Peter Obi is saying is that he will make the country very, very productive, that throughout the night, throughout the day, value addition, production instead of consumption, and then you will find out that you won't have time to go and pray at night. Just look, we are looking at the billboards in Germany. It was companies. When I came now, the billboards, churches. What's wrong with us? Did Satan fall in Nigeria? Did Satan fall in Africa? Did he land in Africa? Why are we so stupid and wicked?